Hey y'all. Well, lots of little building projects going on here today. I'm in the process of building my little furry one. She's checking it out. Um, a little cat house. It will have, of course, a front on it and a top on it. The front, I'm going to hinge it so that it will actually open and allow me to, clean out in there easy. But it also will have just one of the little swingy cat doors. It came in the mail today, so we're all good. Whoop! She almost fell off the porch. But and then the top, I ran out of just the extra blue foam that we had laying around. So that's okay because I'm actually going to cut. I have a 3-inch piece of foam that I'm going to fit exactly in the top, and or it will go on top after it's completely closed in. It will go on top with a little lip around it to keep it from sliding off. It will have indoor or exterior fabric. There's lots of babies coming up. They're wanting to be fed. Their bowls are almost empty and they don't like it when that happens, especially that one. Tux is just the chunky monkey. Look at this guy. He's just ginormous. And as an exterior cat or an outside cat, I don't get it. But anyway, it's been nice and warm this week. Even our nights have only been about 40 degrees. But it's time. They need their little house built so they'll have somewhere nice and warm to hang out and to sleep in. And even during the day, if we have cold weather in the daytime, I don't want them to be uncomfortable and not have somewhere they can go and be just snuggly. So, anyway, and there's Miss Reba. She is a beauty. She's so pretty. Yeah. All right, guys, I'll feed you in just a minute. Let's go over and see what Papa's been up to today. He and our neighbor John's a jewel. He helps Hugh, and Hugh helps him, and the two of them are just good buddies. And they're cousins. Distant cousins, but they're still cousins. And they just enjoy each other's company. And John is 77 years old. And I have never seen someone that age that's as spry as he is. And Hugh has never enjoyed heights. He never has done well on heights anyway. But since his stroke, it worries me for him to, he climbs up on the house like he did last week to clean the chimneys out. And even though it's not really steep, it still worries me because he isn't real sure-footed, and he also has some problems with one of his hips that sometimes it's just it's just worrying me. But anyway, that is almost full enough to go to the scrapyard, and that would be lovely to get that off the farm. But yeah, and piles more of wood for, actually he has enough already cut for next year, or for this year, and so he's working on next year's firewood. But look at all the lumber he has cut this week, y'all. He has just been sawing his little heart out. And the reason is because they are finally building, you can see he's got his big sawmill out of the way, but they are finally building the sawmill shed. And right now they just have everything strung together and until they have everything permanently connected. But I am so pleased that this is finally coming to fruition. He has wanted to do this for a while. He's worried about his sawmill just being out in the weather all the time. And I don't blame him. I have been too. Because you just don't want to invest a lot of money in something like that and then have it decay sooner than it would had you had it protected well. But, yay. They have been working on this for a couple of days, cutting down timbers and putting them in the ground. and leveling everything up. And soon they'll get to start working on the roof. And I think Hugh said he's going to go ahead and close it in on 3 sides. He has it plenty long enough. His sawmill takes up about 14 feet of space, and it looks like he's made that building probably about 20 feet wide. Of course, if he ever decides to add an extension, and he can get 4-foot extensions to add to it so he can make it longer and longer. Right now it will cut it will take a 14-foot log. So I guess it's 16 feet long. But anyway, he'll have to open up one end and add to it. But I don't think he has any intention of doing that. He said that, let me see what he said. A 2x6 cut from fresh lumber that's about 10 foot long, weighs about 70 pounds. And he said, that's more than I want to handle. Both of us are beginning to feel our, what is it? We're beginning to know that we don't need to exceed certain limits. So, but I'm glad he has put some perimeters in place, some guardrails in place for his own back and health, especially with that hip giving him some problems. But look at this stack of wood. Lovely. There's a lot of lumber right there, y'all. And then there's his hay for the winter. And there's Ferds. I don't know what he's getting ready to come out of the bird lot. He does that every evening. He wanders around out here that little bit before he goes to where he's going to roost. Sometimes he roosts up there on the eave of the house, but most of the time he roosts up here in the barn. And I tell you what, that's quite a ways up. Quite a ways up. All right. And then down here, this stack of lumber is wonderful. And Hugh has been mixing this pile of cow manure with his wood shavings from the sawmill for about a year. And so I'm trying to decide. I think I'm going to have him put it up in the garden where we grow our vegetables. I don't think it's too rich because it is at least a year old. You can see that's a big stack. That's a big pile of cow poo-poo. But I'm just not willing to quite take that risk right now. But I would like for it to be used somewhere, and he can till it in to our little area where we grow our vegetables, and it should be wonderful. Flowers are just so weird. Some of them don't like a whole lot of nutrition because it will end up giving us lots of foliage and not really any flowers. So that's the concern. Not that wouldn't grow some really nice flowers, but maybe not any flower heads. All right. Well, y'all, let's go inside. Look at our trees. They're losing their leaves so quickly. But it has turned out to be a very pretty fall. Not a vibrant fall, but a very pretty fall. Look up here at the big oak. Beautiful tree. But anyway, and look at Mary Gray, y'all. I should have came out earlier today. Should have came out earlier today when the sun was hitting Mary Gray. That's a beautiful sight. I'll try to grab that for you before all the leaves fall off this next week. They'll probably be gone within a week as far along as they are now. But I just wanted to show y'all what we're up to. I'll keep you posted on the sawmill shed, the new sawmill shed. That one was the old sawmill shed when Hugh's daddy had a great big, huge, ginormous sawmill that was dangerous as all get out. But and when I finish the kitty cat house, I'll show that to you as well. But right now I have biscuits in the oven, and Hugh is making some chicken and gravy. So I'm gonna go and join him for supper, and I will talk to y'all later. Love you much. Bye-bye.